Good morning, children. How are you? Hope you are doing well. Okay, today I'm here to introduce another topic which is part of communication and life skills. Actually, now the topic I'm going to share with you, it's not a part of our curriculum, but still, because I have completed almost all the topics which are part of life skills like attitude, problem solving skills, decision making skills, and critical thinking, creativity, leadership, time management, etc. etc. Now, just I wanted to consolidate all the topics already dealt because I want you to leave a legacy. I want you to leave a legacy. So, now moving to our next slide, have a look. Have a look. Okay. So, here, what is it? Leave a legacy. And here, live by design, not by default. This I told you earlier. We have to live, everyone is supposed to live by design, but not by default. Okay. So, now let me tell you actually what is meant by legacy, because some of you may not know what is legacy. So, legacy can be said as amount of money or property left to someone in a will. Now you will be having your forefathers, your grandparents, etc., ancestors. They, if at all, if they leave some property or some money to you in a will, that we say it as a legacy. But here my sense is it's not about that materialistic property, but it's all about the life skills. Leaving the life skills. Your parents or teaching you some ethics, or your grandparents or your forefathers, somebody, so your well wishers leaving all the good qualities as legacy to you. Okay, so it's all about good qualities like attitude, self-esteem, accountability, etc., and etc., etc. Okay, so here today our topic is leave a legacy. Okay, now there are two kinds of people in this world. Okay, now the first category are those who remember names, in the sense names of other persons. Okay, and there will be second category, those whose names are worth remembering. So the names of these persons, second category persons, are remembered by others. The first category, they remember others names, but the second category, their names are remembered by all others. Okay, so here we find two categories of people in the world. So now our ancestors, they give us our name, but respect comes where? The respect comes from only our behavior, isn't it? How you behave with others, about how you maintain, how it depends upon your interpersonal skills, etc., etc. So our ancestors, your ancestors, they gave you your name, but the respect you gain comes from only from our behavior, isn't it? In the society. Okay, so money, fame, and power, they are very important. But what you can do with them, with money, with fame, with power, you can only buy expensive toys. And those expensive toys you can buy, or expensive any things you can buy, and they will boost your ego, but nothing more than that. But what counts really is your legacy regarding the good qualities you inherit. Okay, so it's really our legacy that counts. Followed? It's really our legacy that counts. And if at all, if you want to leave a legacy, you have to leave a legacy. But if you want to leave a legacy, you have to do either something worth writing, or you have to write something worth doing. Followed? It's a bit complex, but I'll tell it in a, okay, again, once again I shall repeat so that you can understand it, the depth of that particular sentence. If we want to leave a legacy, we have to either do something worth writing, or we have to write something worth doing. Okay, then definitely we can leave a legacy. Because a man's life, or anyone's life, it's not measured by its length, but its depth and how well it is spent. It's not measured by its length, but its depth and how well you have spent your life. It depends upon that. And actors, they make an impression. But great people, if we look at the lives of great people, because they inspire many, they make an impact. Just actors impress us. For a while we get impressed, we watch their movies, we are fond of their movies, we become their fans. But great people, they make really an impact. Followed? So that's the difference, there lies the difference. So you have to leave a legacy. Now most people, actually, they die before they are dead. Physically, before they are dead, they die before that only. So because they waste their lives, simply wasting our lives sitting idle, it is nothing but though we are alive, in the sense we are dead. I told you earlier, aimless life is lifeless body. there is life in your body, but it is nothing but it's just lifeless. Okay, because they waste their lives, and when they realize they don't have much time left, then again they regret. But what is the use? Oh, regretting over the past is of no use, isn't it? So we care what philosophy we believe in. So we have got this one shot at the game called life. It's only one shot, and the stakes are too high. So there is no rewind. There is no rewind button. You can't get back your wasted time. So this life is not a dress rehearsal, isn't it? Unlike the game of football where you can replace the players, and again in the game of life, you have to play your own game. You can't rewind the button. There's no rewind button as such. Okay, so it's a one shot at the game. So you have to play your own game, and none other than you will play your game, isn't it? So there are only two choices for us. The one thing that is clear is that there are only two choices. You can either live by design, you can design your own life, or you can live by default. Default, by default we set some, isn't it, some settings like that. But life should act upon you, but isn't it? Time shouldn't time We shouldn't allow the time to act upon you, but you have to act upon your time, isn't it? Followed. So you can either live by design, or you can either live by default. So you have a choice, but the which choice will be better? If you live your life by design, that will be a better choice. Obviously that will be a good choice, because many people, they live their lives just like robots. They go to work, they come back, they don't have any vision in their lives, but before they realize, their end comes. Okay, so their dreams, if at all they dream at something, their dreams, they remain dreams unfulfilled, and eventually they appear to become nightmares only. Okay, because I told you many times, what did I say? Winners, they don't do different things, but they do the same things in a different way. They do things differently, isn't it? So most people, they die with the music still in them. They haven't lived while they were alive. So if you design your life based on the principles of success, then you will live a purposeful life, and at the same time you can live a meaningful life even, isn't it? And then your life will be an exemplary life, and many will quote your life as an example. You will become a role model, and your parents will be happy to name their children after you. Okay, other parents, parents of others. Okay, and they will name you. They will be called after your name, isn't it? So don't ask how many people know you or how many you know, but it's you have to live. You have to make your life worth living. Okay, because ask others, are you worth knowing? Do many know you? Okay, so every seed has the potential of starting a forest. You plant a tree, it will give more seeds, and which will help your future generations so that they can plant more and more trees, isn't it? Because every seed, it has the potential of starting a forest, and you have to become such seed. Okay, and also one more thing, when you can help others, you must, or you will never feel good about yourself. And feeling good, why should we feel good? Feeling good is a natural outcome of doing good, and doing good is a natural outcome of being good. Again I repeat, feeling good is a natural outcome of doing good. And because when you do something good, you'll feel good. And doing good, okay, when you will tend to do good, when you already are a person of good nature, then you will do good. So doing good is a natural outcome of being good. Okay, followed now. Hope you understood. So you have to turn your potential. You have to turn your potential into reality, isn't it? You have to make your life fulfilled. Okay, so because you should be a person of values, and you should leave a legacy. So because values are what? Values are priceless. Can you buy any value at some cost? No, you can't. Values are priceless. The moment you put a price tag on values, they lose value. If at all, if you want to buy a value, you cannot never. But the moment you put a price tag on values, they become valueless. They lose their value. So because losers always count their days. Winners make their days count, and they leave a legacy. So you have to live by design and not by default. Followed? Okay. So now moving to our next slide. It's this topic I've covered earlier, but it is a life skill, important life skill to begin with. So let me give a brief introduction about this particular topic. Now, what is it? Attitude. Attitude, I told you many times, the way you react to a person, or maybe a situation, or any event, or anything, the way you respond, the way you react, that we call it as our attitude. So thinking, believing, and knowing what's good is not good enough. Doing good is good. Doing good is what counts. So thinking, believing, knowing what's good, it's never enough. You have to do some good. You have to do some good, because attitude, attitude, it makes all the difference. It can either make a life or it can also break a life. It can make lives or it can break some lives. Okay, so we might understand it better by looking at the now. Let me tell you an example, because attitude can be better understood, how we have to be, how we are supposed to be. That can be better understood if you look at the philosophy of an ant. Okay, so you daily, you sometimes, you very often you go, if at all, if you have never seen, you might have seen many times, everyone we see, but if at all, if we observe the philosophy of an ant, because it sets an example of how to look at an obstacle. Yes, because sometimes we become mischievous and we become an obstacle for an ant, so we hinder it. Okay, now, so have you ever seen an ant sitting idle? Have you? So probably not, because why? Because ants never sit idle. They never sit idle. It is not in their nature itself. So they are always hard working. They are hard working. And ants never quit. Ants, they never quit. If you try to block their way, they will go up, they will go down, sideways, but they will not stop. How long do they keep trying to overcome the obstacle? Till they find a way to rise above it. Okay, so obstacles don't stop them, and they shouldn't stop us either. So they persist. Even obstacles never can stop us, isn't it? So we have to never quit. We have to never sit idle, and we should never quit. And ants, when we speak about ants, they're far sighted. They don't think only about summer. In summer they are very busy collecting their food and preparing for the winter even. So that's why they will be in a rush all through the summer season, because they'll collect the food for the winter even. So you never see an idle ant unless it is dead. Unless it is dead, you never see it. So we too should be very far sighted. That's why I want you to go through the philosophy of ant. And so ants, they have a work life balance. So they work during summer and they rest during winter. So they will maintain some balance, and they hibernate to conserve energy. So they know when to stop working. They know. So we have to, when to stop, when to relax. We should learn. And speaking about ants, they are purpose driven. So their sole job is only to look for food for their mates, and they don't get distracted. They are always focused. They focus on the food, and also they can carry big responsibilities. Even you have seen many times. Although ants are small, their contributions are always big. They can handle up to 100 times their body weight. So now, if I have to conclude the philosophy of ant, we can say ants, they are really hardworking, they are purpose driven, and far sighted, and they don't quit, and they maintain great work life balance. So we can learn from small ants, tiny ants, a lot. So their philosophy, really, it's something motivational, something inspirational, isn't it? Okay, now moving to our next slide. What is attitude? This we have discussed earlier, but still. Attitude is a psychological construct, a mental and an emotional entity that characterizes a person. Yes, it's something concerned about the psychological and mental and emotional entity. Okay. Now, we have some components: affective, behavioral, and cognitive, the ABCs of attitude. Affective, how we feel regarding an attitude. Earlier we have covered this, that's why I'm in a hurry. Okay. So, affective, how we feel regarding an attitude, and behavioral, how we act on an attitude, and cognitive, how we think or reason through our attitude, isn't it? So attitude is more powerful than skills, than your academic qualifications, than your good looks, than your place of birth or connections and everything else put together. Attitude is something more than or greater or more powerful than all this. Your appearance doesn't matter, but your attitude matters. So whenever we speak well about a man, do we refer to his looks? Do we refer to his clothes, or do we refer to his face or some academic qualifications? Okay, no, we refer to his attitude. So now, for example, let me tell you an example. Imagine that you have 4 glasses. The first one is plastic, the second is made of ceramic, and the third is steel glass, and the fourth one is made of silver. And if I pour some juice in each one of them, the same juice, would it taste different because of the containers? Because they are made of different materials. One of plastic, one of ceramic, one of steel, and the other of silver. So does the taste of apple juice change? No. The answer is obviously no. Because it's not the container that decides the taste, but what is inside each of them that matters, isn't it? What is inside the juice? It tastes the same. So it's not your appearance, your physical appearance, or the way you dress or something like that, but your qualification, they don't matter. But your attitude, how you behave, how you respond to different situations, different persons, or different events, okay, that matters. That matters. So that is what is attitude. Followed. Okay. Now, you know, so it's a viewpoint. So it's a habitual way of your thinking, a frame of your thinking, a frame of your mind, your thinking process, the way you look at things. That will become your attitude. So we have to approach to things, or your reaction to situations in life should be always very proper. Okay, they should never be pessimistic or never harsh to anyone, or they shouldn't, your behavior or your attitude should never hurt any other person. Okay, such should be your attitude. Now, we cannot always change the circumstances. Can we change? Even they may be okay. Sometimes you may face some bitter, you may have some bitter experiences, or you may encounter some situation. But can you change the circumstances or situations? Nor can we change the reasons or the seasons, or no, you can never change. Then what you need to change? You are supposed to change your own attitude. But you should never blame others, because permanently blaming others, it's a mistake. It's a great mistake, because there are certain things, there are certain things which will be beyond our control, so we can never change them. So the only thing which we have to change is our attitude, our behavior. Followed. Okay. Now, moving to our next slide. So here, this we have discussed about the components. Okay, I have not changed the slide yet. Achievers look for solutions for every problem, and losers, they look for a problem in every solution. This, while discussing the lesson problem solving, there I have told you. So always achievers, they always look for the solutions only, but losers, they have always a problem ready for every solution even. And positive people not only reinforce their attitude but also protect it from contamination. So they get always rid of, they will be away from the influence of the negative people, and they will reinforce their attitude, and always they will be optimistic only. Okay. Now, moving to our next slide. This is also something repeated. I told you earlier, whether a glass is half full or half empty depends on the attitude of the person looking at it, because it's the same glass, same water, it's half only filled. But the optimistic person, they say that half of the glass is filled with water, with a optimistic thinking. And this, looking at the same glass, the pessimists or the negative thinkers, they say that it is half empty. So our approach towards anything should be always positive, because a person with a positive attitude, he cannot be stopped. Can he be stopped? Can we stop any person with positive attitude? No. So here, moving to the next slide. Achievers create an antenna to attract positive thoughts and a circuit breaker to disconnect negative thoughts. Yes, always they have an antenna. They create themselves an antenna to attract only positive thoughts. Now, a person, look at this slide, it's something interesting quote. A person with a positive attitude cannot be stopped. You can't stop him, because his thinking is like that, optimistic. And a person with a negative attitude, he cannot be helped. We can never help him, because he has already got a negative attitude. Okay, no one can help him. He alone, when he is not prepared to help himself, then no one can help him. Okay. So in other words, a person with a positive attitude is unstoppable. You can never stop a person who is always optimistic. Okay. And life is always life is funny. Life is something funny. So we have to get started. And the lines on our palm, we always often look at the lines in our palm, on our palm. Okay, the lines on our palm do not decide our future. Actually, there are those without hands, who not only write their own futures but also those of others. Then because you have a palm, you are looking at the lines. Then what about the persons who do not have hands at all? Don't they have some future? Most of them have bright future even. So there are those without hands who not only write their own futures, but also they write the futures of others. They will become great personalities. There are many without hands who have emerged as great personalities, and they offered many jobs to many, and they gave, isn't it? So we can't say that the lines on our palm never can decide our future. But by your attitude, or by your hard work, by your determination, by your commitment, your discipline, your desire to achieve something, or your desire to aim at something, so those all decide your future, and you will alone become your architect. You are the architect of your own fate. I strongly believe we are the architects of our own fate. Okay, followed. It's true. It's true, because never rely on luck. Luck only favors to some extent, but we have to always believe in ourselves. We have to believe ourselves, and we have to work hard. Then only we can emerge successful. Okay, so now look here. So once again, have a glance at the quote. So it's life is funny, and for as long as we are alive, we have to keep learning how to live our life. We have to go on, keep learning only, because learning is a process, never ending process. Okay. And a good life is not measured by some bank balances your parents give or you earn, but it's not at all. A good life, it also, it's not measured by the material positions you have, but it's measured by only your attitude or our attitude towards life. It's both a philosophy. It's both a philosophy as well as an idea to live by, isn't it? So we have to live our life by design and not by default. Because most people see opportunities, many opportunities, but only very few people they seize them, they grab them. And often, one of the most painful moments of our life is when an opportunity knocks on your door, and we find ourselves unprepared. We are not prepared to receive that opportunity, to take up that opportunity. We are unprepared, so we lose that opportunity. Followed. So it happens, most often it happens. Now moving to our next slide. Coming to success. Before moving to success, okay, let me keep the whole slide only, because I want to share with you some two small stories. Okay, they are about attitude only. So there was a man who made his living selling balloons on a fair. Okay, at a fair. So he was selling what? Balloons at a fair, at some exhibition like that. Okay, so he had balloons of many different colors, including red, orange, yellow, blue, green, all. Okay, black even. So whenever business was slow, then he would again release what he would release, just to attract the chill kids. He would release a helium filled balloon into the air. Helium filled balloon, it will be in the air only, suspended. Okay, so he would release a helium filled balloon into the air. Which gas we fill in the balloons? Either hydrogen or helium, because they are the lightest gases. Okay, so he would release a helium filled balloon into the air, and when the children saw the balloon go up, they all wanted one, and they would insist or pressurize their parents, and they would buy. Okay, so they would come up to him and buy a balloon, and his sales would go up again. So all day he continued to release a balloon whenever sales were slow. Whenever the sales were low, he would release a helium balloon and attract the kids. Okay, so one day the balloon man, he felt some tugging at his jacket. Somebody was pulling him. Okay, from behind. So he turned around, and a little boy asked, "If you release a black balloon, will also that fly?" Because he released the balloons of all colors other than the black. Okay, I told you black, I think earlier. No, except black or some other color which was not released. That boy was very curious, and he asked, "If you release a black balloon, will that also fly?" Out of curiosity, that small kid, he asked. So, moved by the boy's concern, the man replied very gently, "Son, it's not the color of the balloon, it is what's inside that makes it go up." Because it's not the color. The boy was thinking that uncle, that man can release only these balloons, and I think he may not release the black balloon. That was his perspective, because he was a kid. He don't understand what is inside the balloon. So here, this person, salesman, he said, "Son, it's not the color of the balloon, it is what's inside that makes it go up." So here, what inside is the gas. Similarly, what inside us, which will help us to rise in our life, whether it is personal or professional, to prosper in our career, that is what is our attitude, which will help us to decide our altitude. Altitude decides our altitude. Followed? Hope you understood. Okay. Now let me tell you another. It's not a story, but just to share with you. Especially now, since a long time I'm telling you that we have to always imbibe positive attitude and be optimistic. Now, speaking about one example for how pessimist will be, let me share with you. So there was a hunter who bought an amazing bird dog. It's a dog, amazing bird dog. So this one of a kind dog, it would walk on water even. Can dogs walk on water? Not even we cannot, and even dogs, they cannot. Okay, but this was something amazing. So the hunter was looking forward to showing off his new acquisition to his friends. Yes, whenever we buy something different or amazing, we will be very curious that many have to see it. We expect many to see it, and we expect many to comment on it. Then we feel very happy, isn't it? So he invited a friend to go duck hunting. And then after some time, they shot a few ducks, and the man ordered his dog to fetch the birds, etc. And all day long, the dog ran on the water to retrieve the birds. Okay, so the owner was expecting his friend to comment or compliment or give a compliment, so about this amazing dog, but never got one. He never got one. The other person didn't comment, neither he gave a compliment nor a comment. Okay, and so as they were returning home, then he asked his friend, because if he had noticed anything. So he was fed up, because he expected a lot, but the other person didn't reciprocate that. So he had noticed. Then he asked, out of curiosity, he only asked his friend, didn't you notice anything unusual about my dog? He asked. He posed a question to his friend. Then the friend replied, yes, in fact, I did notice something unusual. Your dog cannot swim. What he said? I did notice something unusual about your dog. Your dog cannot swim. So he's not praising that your dog could walk on the water, but instead of giving a compliment, he was saying that your dog cannot swim. So some such will be the attitude of pessimistic person. They always see at the negative side of things. Okay, so this is one example I wanted to share with you. Okay, now look here. Now moving to our next slide. It is all about success. Okay, what is it? Success. Okay. So now everyone is the most familiar word, isn't it? So is there anybody who doesn't know what is success? Okay, let me go through the definition of what is success. Success is a progressive realization of predetermined, worthwhile personal goals. Yeah, you aim at some goals, and in the process you make an action plan, and finally you achieve it. So it is something progress of you. So it is a progressive realization of some predetermined, already determined, worthwhile personal goals. Okay, followed. So moving to the next slide. Success is doing what you want to do, and when you want, where you want, with whom you want, as much as you want. Very interesting, isn't it? It's by Tony Robbins. Success is doing what you want to do, when you want to do, where you want to do, with whom you want to, or as much as you want to. That is what can be called as success. And look at the another definition. Success is no accident. Is success an accident? No, never. It is hard work. What is it? It is hard work. It is perseverance. It's learning. It's studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. Okay, so you love to do something, you love to learn something, and in that process you do hard work, and you study, you sacrifice. Most of the time you spend for it, and finally you become successful, isn't it? So you can face success only after hard work, but never by luck. Only luck will help you to some extent, but not always. So it's never accident. Success can never be an accident. You will be striving for success. You'll be working hard, you'll be struggling, isn't it? Okay, now moving to the next. Success doesn't come to you, you go to it, isn't it? It doesn't come to you, but it's you have to go in search of success. Okay, now here is another something Bruce Lee said by Bruce Lee. Okay, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. That much hard work, and I fear about that person, he's saying. Okay, in depth it has got a greater meaning. Okay, now, and let me tell you, because just now I told you, you can meet success, you can become successful only after a great struggle, after a great hard work, isn't it? Because history has demonstrated that the most notable winners, if at all, if there are many notable winners in all fields. So they usually encountered many heartbreaking obstacles before they triumphed. Okay, so they won because they refused to become discouraged by their defeats. They never wanted to be discouraged by their defeats. So they struggled, and finally they won, isn't it? So because then the thing is, you have to learn how to handle them. and without effort you can't expect any success. So let me tell you, because we have to struggle. Struggling should be part of our life. And let me tell you a small story. So there was a biology teacher, and she was teaching his students how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. Caterpillar, it turns into a butterfly. And he told the students that in the next couple of hours, in the next just 1 or 2 hours, in the next couple of hours, the butterfly would struggle to come out of the cocoon, but no one should help the butterfly. Then he left, because the principal might have called him, and so he left. And he left the cocoon on the table, and he wanted the students to observe the process of the butterfly struggling to come out of the cocoon and coming out. So he gave some instructions to the students, and he also warned them that you shouldn't help it out, okay? And he left. Then the students, they were waiting, and one after a few minutes it happened. The butterfly struggled to get out of the cocoon. It tried to tear the cocoon. You might have seen the cocoon many times. Okay, and against the advice, what they did, the students, against the advice of the teacher, one of the students, he took pity on it because it was struggling, and he decided to help the butterfly out of the cocoon. So he tore it. So he broke the cocoon. He broke the cocoon to help the butterfly. So it didn't have to struggle anymore. So, but shortly, the butterfly came out successfully. But within no time, it died. Okay, it lay dead. The butterfly died within no time. So when the teacher again he returned. He was told what had happened. So obviously teacher will ask them, what happened, what's wrong, what happened. Then they explained. That particular boy, he explained to the student. Then the student explained to the teacher. Then what the teacher said is, he explained to the student that it's a law of nature, that the struggle to come out of the cocoon actually helps the butterfly to develop its wings, to strengthen its wings. It's a law, it's all law of nature. That in the process of struggling, when the butterfly struggles to break the cocoon and come out, in that process what happens, it will be strengthening its wings. It will develop its wings, so that once it comes out, it can fly. Okay, so by helping the butterfly, what the boy did, the boy thought, he felt pity, he took pity on it, and he thought he was helping. But what he did, okay, the boy had deprived the butterfly of its struggle, and the butterfly died. So we should apply the same principle to our lives even. So nothing worthwhile in our life comes without a struggle. Without struggle, you can't expect anything, As parents, we tend to hurt the ones we love most, but we have to allow them to struggle so that they'll gain strength. And here the same we have to apply in the case of learning also. If you learn on your own, self-learning, because teachers are always there, facilitators, they guide you, they motivate you, they facilitate you, they help you to some extent. But you yourself, if you learn on your own, if self-learning happens, that will retain for a longer time, and you can even become more strong. Followed? Okay. So these two stories, where they are about success, you have to relate them to success. Okay. Now moving to our next slide. It's all about what? Motivation. It's also a familiar word. You know it well. Okay. So coming to motivation. Now moving to our next slide. Here comes the definition of motivation. What is motivation? Tell me. Motivation is, motivation can be said as something driving force in our lives. It comes when you have a desire to succeed, then automatically you get some energy, some force. Internally you'll be motivated, and that force we call it as motivation. Okay. Now look at the definition. Motivation is defined as the process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. Okay, goal-oriented. We aim at a goal. Okay, and we have to orient ourselves with our behavior towards that goal. And motivation initiates. It gives the initiation. Okay, it's a striking force. It ignites, and it's a sparkle. Okay, so it's a spark, I can say. Okay, and it's what causes us to act, and it involves the biological, emotional, social, and cognitive forces that activate our behavior. Then we tend to work hard. Okay, so that is what is motivation. Okay, followed. Now moving to our next slide. Again, motivation can be classified into two types. Intrinsic motivation, in the sense we get motivated from within ourselves. Nobody else asks us to get motivated. We ourselves, we have a burning desire and we want to achieve something. We get motivated. Okay, that we say it as intrinsic motivation. Autonomy on your own, mastery, purpose. With a purpose, you start doing Okay, work, you start working hard. And extrinsic from outside, if your parent, if your father says that if at all, if you get a good percentage in the diploma, then I'll give you a gift, a mobile or something, a bike, etc. Then because of that reward you started working. Okay, so you start to work hard. Then that we say externally, when something, when you get motivated by outside factor, then that we say it as extrinsic motivation. So compensation, punishment or reward, something like that. Or else I'll punish you, if at all, if you don't work hard, I'll punish you. So that negative motivation, negative extrinsic motivation, so they are also some factors. But here it's a two types. Okay, now look at this slide. Opportunity rarely knocks on your door. Rarely, it comes rarely, and you have to make the best use of it. Knock rather than knock rather on opportunity's door if you ardently wish to enter. Okay, instead you don't wait for opportunity to knock your door, but instead you go and knock the opportunity's door. If you at all, if you are very enthusiastic, if you want to make use the opportunity, then you have to do so. It's a quote by BC Forbes. Okay, next, look at this slide. Patience, persistence and perspiration, they make an unbeatable combination for success. Okay, what make an unbeatable combination for success by Napoleon Hill? Napoleon Hill is saying patience. You need patience, persistence and perspiration. Patience, you know. And what do you mean by persistence? Prolonged existence. If something exists for a prolonged period, okay, continued effort, your continued effort, it can be called as persistence, your persistence to work hard. And perspiration, the process sweating. Okay, so here you have to work hard, sweat a lot. Okay, so you can't expect anything sweet without sweat, isn't it? So patience, persistence and perspiration, they make an unbeatable combination for success. Followed? Okay, it's all about motivation. So you have to be always motivated. Always you have to be motivated. And let me tell you something else. Okay, now you remember the greatest motivator, what is the greatest motivator? It's your belief. If you believe yourself, then that will be the greatest motivator. So because we have to inculcate in ourselves that belief that we are responsible for our actions. Who will be responsible for your actions or for your behavior? You yourself. You yourself will be responsible for your action, for your behavior. So when people accept responsibility, everything improves. So the only thing you are supposed to do is you have to accept responsibility. So if at all, if you accept responsibility, what will happen? So you'll that will improve your quality, everything will be improved. What will be improved? Quality, the quality of your life or productivity or relationships. So your teamwork, everything improves. Okay, so you have to motivate yourself. You have to motivate yourself because people do things for their own reasons. Okay, you have to set time, and because you have to let me tell you, it's not a story, but there is a story about Ralph Waldo Emerson. So he and his son, they were once struggling to get a calf into the barn, and both father and the son, they were very exhausted trying to help it out. Okay, they want to get the calf into the barn, so they pulled and pushed and they got exhausted even. Then a little girl, she was passing by and she put her little finger into the calf's mouth, allowing it to suck, and the calf lovingly followed her to the barn. So here it's all your own. You have to make things happen. Okay, so that you have to always motivate yourself. You should be your own motivator. Followed? Now, so coming to what? Self-esteem. This self-esteem, I told you earlier what is actually self. What you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, whether high or low, that becomes your self-esteem. Identifying your positive and negative behaviors becomes your self-esteem. If you think something positive about you, that becomes positive self-esteem. If you think something negative, that becomes your negative self-esteem. Because every time we do something good, we raise a little bit in our own eyes, isn't it? When we do something good, we will raise ourselves in our own eyes, and if we do something bad, and the reverse will happen. Okay, we'll fall. Instead of rising, we'll fall a little bit in our own eyes, isn't it? So we have to always have a positive self-esteem. Here, what's given here in the slide? Confidence. Self-esteem is confidence in one's own worth. You have to think that, yes, I'm capable, I have many abilities, you have to think. Never think that I'm fit for nothing. Okay, so confidence in one's own worth or abilities. If you respect yourself, that is nothing but maintaining or having high self-esteem, or I can say positive self-esteem. What is it? Positive self-esteem. Followed? Okay, so always you have to have a positive self-esteem. Now, Let me tell you a small story about self-esteem. Okay, so sometimes we see some people putting on some masks now because of COVID. Wearing a mask, but this mask is something. You are actually something, but you are in the disguise of something else, somebody else. So there was a young executive, and he had very poor self-esteem, and he was promoted, but he couldn't reconcile himself to his new office and position. So there was a knock at his door. One day there was a knock at his door, and to show how important and busy he wanted to act as if he was very busy and very important, because he's a person suffering with poor self-esteem. Okay, and it was his new office, nobody knows about him. Okay, so what he did to show, when somebody knocked at his door, to show how important and busy he was, he picked up the phone, and then he asked the visitor to come in. He picked up the phone, and later he asked the visitor to come in. And as the man waited for the executive, he waited at the door only. Then the executive kept talking on the phone, nodding, saying, "No problem, I can handle that." Yes, as if he's or helping many people, okay, in their works, as if he was some great personality. He was acting, he was talking, nodding, okay, over the phone. And then after a few minutes, he hung up and asked the visitor. He made the visitor to wait for a long while at the door only, and later he asked the visitor what he could do for him. Then the man replied, "Sir, I am here to connect your phone." Did you understand? So what the man replied, "Sir, I am here to connect your phone." So it was a land phone. So that land phone was actually not working, and this person who came he just came to repair that, to connect that phone, isn't it? And he understood that this fellow was simply acting, because he was a person of low self-esteem. So he was wearing a mask as if he was very busy. So why pretend? What are we trying to prove? So what do we want to accomplish? Why do we need to lie? So why look for feelings of false importance, false prestige? All of these, these types of behavior, they come from insecurity. Whenever they feel that they are insecure, whenever they feel that they have low self-esteem, they act like that, they pretend like that, isn't it? So, why to pretend? Our character can be judged by everything we do or we like. So, how our character is revealed? Our character is revealed by the company we keep, or the friends we maintain, or the company we avoid, how we treat others, especially our subordinates, how we treat the elderly persons, how we treat the disabled. And our character also, it will be judged based on the books we read, the music we listen, the movies we watch, the kind of jokes we tell, or the kind of jokes we laugh at. So every action of ours, it gives us away anyway. So why to pretend, isn't it? So self-esteem, positive or negative, they can be revealed by the following. So positive self-esteem, so self-respect, self-confidence, self-worth, self-acceptance, self-love, self-knowledge, self-discipline, these all contribute to the positive self-esteem. And what contribute to the negative self-esteem? Self-put-down, self-doubt, self-abuse, self-denial, self-centeredness, self-deceit, self-indulgence, etc. These all, they contribute to the negative self-esteem. Followed? So high self-esteem does not mean having a bit ego. In fact, so it doesn't. It's not ego. It's all about self-esteem. All the good qualities in you, your character, good character, it contributes much to the positive self-esteem. Followed? Okay. So now, moving to our next slide. So to have a positive self-esteem, what you are supposed to do, you should use positive affirmations correctly and identify your competencies, and you have to develop them, and you have to learn to accept compliments, and you have to affirm your real worth. Never you should pretend. Okay, so next slide. Our privileges can be no greater than our obligations. The protection of our rights can endure no longer than the performance of our responsibilities. It's a popular quote by John F. Kennedy. So our privileges can be no greater than our obligations. Okay. Now I told you all this positive self-esteem, negative self-esteem. I'll provide you later notes. Okay. These all contribute to the positive self-esteem, and the others contribute to the negative self-esteem. Followed? Okay. Okay, now speaking about the interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills are something to be learned, and if you want to build a pleasing personality, then you have to learn some interpersonal skills even. Now I can tell you that with money you can buy many things. You can buy some technicians, you can buy technology, etc., etc. But even the wealthiest person also, he must build some good relationships. He must learn some interpersonal skills so that he can build a pleasing personality. Okay, now speaking about the interpersonal skills, moving to our next slide. So what come under interpersonal skills? So the way you communicate with others, your verbal communication, active listening, your body language, your openness, your negotiation skills, and your decision making skills, your problem solving skills, and if at all if there is any conflict, the way you resolve that particular conflict. So conflict resolution, it also comes under interpersonal skills. Followed. So verbal communication, active listening, body language, openness, negotiation skills, decision making skills, problem solving skills, and conflict resolution skills, they are all part of interpersonal skills so that you can build a pleasing personality. Because personality opens the doors, but it's your character which keeps the doors always open. Followed. Again I repeat, personality opens the doors, but your character keeps it always open. Followed. Okay, now moving to our next slide. So look here, 7 key active listening skills. You have to be attentive, you have to ask open-ended questions, you have to ask probing questions, request clarification if at all if there is an query, then paraphrase and be attuned to and reflect feelings, and you should be able to summarize. So these are all active listening skills. Okay, now moving to our next slide. So you see, you can understand a person by his or her words only 7%, and 38% by their voice, and the remaining 55% by your body language. Okay, you can understand a person by his words only to how much percentage? 7%, and by voice 38%, and the remaining 55% you can understand only through body language. Followed. Okay, have a look at the slide. So these all contribute to the interpersonal skills. Okay, now moving to our next slide. Here is a quote. I will pay more for the ability to deal with people than for any other ability under the sun. It's a quote by John Rockefeller. Okay, what's the quote? I will pay more for the ability to deal with people rather than for any other ability under the sun. Okay, so here dealing with people, to deal effectively with people, you have to gain many interpersonal skills. Okay, now moving to our next slide. It is one of the most beautiful compensations of life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself, isn't it? Without him helping himself, he can never help the other person. So self-help should be done, but at the same time should help others also. So it is one of the most beautiful compensations of life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself. Okay, now so the factors that build trust are reliability. Reliability is a factor that builds trust, gives predictability and comes from commitment. Okay, so when you are committed, anyone can be reliable on you. And consistency builds in turn confidence and respect to self and others. It gives dignity and shows a caring attitude. Okay, and fairness appeals to justice and integrity. And openness, it shows two-way traffic. Okay, if you are open, then the others also, they'll be open to you. Then congruence, action and words harmonize. If a person says one thing and behaves differently, then so that shows then you can never trust him, isn't it? So how can you trust that person? If he says something and if he behaves differently, then you can never trust him, isn't it? So these are some good qualities: reliability, consistency. There should be consistency, reliability, openness, congruence. Okay, now moving to our next slide. So competence comes when a person has the ability and the attitude to serve, and comes integrity, the key ingredient to trust. Acceptance, in spite of our effort to improve, we need to accept each other with our pluses and minuses. Then comes character, Now speaking about integrity, what is integrity? Quality of being honest. Okay, so if you have strong moral principles, then that we call it as integrity. So if you are a honest person, and if you have many moral principles, then we can say you have integrity. Okay, then character. Okay, a person may have all the competence, but if he lacks character, he can't be trusted, isn't it? If he lacks character, he can never be trusted. Next, moving to our next slide. Some factors that prevent building and maintaining positive relationships. Which characters prevent? If at all, if you want to have effective interpersonal skills, then some factors will prevent. So, which factors prevent you to build or maintain good or positive relationships with others are? If you are selfishness or lack of courtesy, or your inconsiderate behavior, you don't have any consideration for the others. Okay, so your inconsiderate behavior, or not meeting commitments if you're not committed, your rude behavior, so lack of integrity, lack of honesty, exactly the opposite of all the good traits. Okay, self-centeredness. So these are all some qualities which prevent you to build or maintain positive relationships. Okay, now this is all about interpersonal skills. Now next, the last life skill. So let us speak about values and vision. Unless you are a person, if you are a person of good values or ethics, if you are ethical personality, then only you can leave a legacy. Okay, isn't it? So coming to now values and vision. So values guide decisions. Definitely your values will guide or help you to take good decisions. Okay, so what come under values and vision? What come under? Your integrity, your accountability, your diligence, your perseverance, and your discipline. So these all come under values. Okay, then only you can have a vision. Now coming to each and every quality. Just now about integrity I told you. What do you mean by integrity? Quality of being honest, and if you are a person of strong moral principles or values, then we say it that you have integrity. Okay, then coming to accountability. What do you mean by accountability? Accountability is nothing but being responsible. Okay, to if anybody assigns you some task, I can say that you are accountable when you are a person of responsibility. Then when you are responsible to do that particular task, then I can say that you are very accountable, or you have a quality of accountability. Then coming to diligence. Okay, showing care in one's work or duties, that we say it as diligence. Then coming to perseverance. This is a very familiar word. Okay, perseverance. What is perseverance? Doing something, okay, in spite of obstacles. Even if you face many obstacles also, if you tend to do something, if you struggle to do something, if you do something, then we say it as perseverance. Okay, now discipline is a very small common word. Okay, so if you are a person who obey always rules, or if you have a code of behavior or conduct, then we can say that you are a disciplined personality, isn't it? So these all 5 qualities, they are nothing but they are values, and if you have these values, then certainly you will have a vision, and we can say you as a personality of ethical, having some ethics, or you can be called as an ethical personality, isn't it? You should have accountability, you should have integrity, you should have diligence, you should have perseverance, and you should have discipline. Followed? Okay, so coming to values and vision, let me tell you some more. Here I shall tell you a small story. It's not a story, but okay. A man was walking, he was taking a morning walk on the beach, and he saw that hundreds of starfish, they came in with the morning tide, and when the tide receded, the starfish again were left behind on the beach. It happens. So with the heat of the morning sun's rays, they would die. If they are left on the shore, what happens? Because of the sun's rays, they would die. And the tide was fresh and the starfish were still alive. So the man, he took a few steps and he picked one. He threw it into the water. He wanted to help them. Okay, so he want them to. Okay, he just don't want to kill them. Okay, so he thought of helping them, and he did that repeatedly. What he did, he picked a starfish and he threw it back into the water. He saved their lives. Okay, it happened. He did that repeatedly, and now seeing all this from behind, another man, he came along who couldn't understand what this man was doing, and he asked, "What are you doing?" he asked. So, and then there are hundreds of starfish. How many can you help you? You are for every time you are picking one. How many can you help you? What are you doing? He asked. So then, what difference does it make? He said. Then this man did not reply, but he took 2 more steps and he picked. He was busy with his work only, picking them and throwing them into the water. He picked up another one, threw it into the water, and he said, "It makes a difference to this one, to this particular starfish." Okay, so it makes a difference to this one. isn't it? So what difference are we making? Whether it is big or small, it doesn't matter. But if everyone makes a small difference, we will end up with a big difference, wouldn't we? So if everyone contributes making a small difference, then definitely at the end of the day, okay, we will end up making a big difference. So we have to think that way. We have to think that way. Okay. Now coming to, so let me tell you, we cannot help ourselves without helping others. I told you, we cannot enrich our lives without enriching others, and we cannot prosper without bringing prosperity to others. So you have to help yourself, at the same time you have to help others. You can become prosperous, and in turn you can make others also in becoming prosperous, isn't it? Followed? Okay. Now speaking about some more values and visions, I can say that. Okay, just let me conclude. So most people, they don't achieve excellence. Why? The big reason is because they don't have vision, they lack vision. Because of the big reason is lack of vision, or they have limited vision. So what we are supposed to do, we need to dream beyond what is possible. We need to dream something beyond what is possible, and we have to struggle in that way. And everything that we see today, it was a dream, isn't it? We are seeing something today, and it was our earlier dream. So before it became reality, it was a dream, but now it turned to a reality. Dream, we have changed the dream into a reality. Now it became a reality. Earlier it was a dream. Followed? So you have to live with enthusiasm, you have to live with some direction, and you have to have some sense of purpose, a sense of purpose. So do you have a dream? So what is your dream? So every day that you live, are you getting closer to your purpose? We have some purpose in our life, isn't it? So every day we have to live, and we have to get closer to our purpose. And don't listen to some failures. They will give you only faulty advice on how to succeed. Instead, get your advice from successful people. Okay. So where the vision is 1 year, if at all the vision is 1 year, you can cultivate flowers. Where the vision is 10 years, you can cultivate trees. And where the vision is eternity, you can cultivate people. Okay, it's an Oriental saying. So because winners, they don't do different things, but they do things differently. I told you number of times. Okay, so to become what we are capable of becoming is the only end of life, isn't it? We can become what we are capable of becoming, and because that is the only end of life. So always we have to acquire all the necessary life skills, so that we can leave a legacy behind us, because life is meant to live. But that living should be something purposeful, meaningful. Okay, because in the beginning only I told you, there will be two kinds of people. Some who remember others' names, and some people, their names others remember, whose names are worth remembering. So you have to leave a legacy. Legacy in the sense, inheriting some good qualities from your, maybe from your well-wishers, or from famous personalities, or from your forefathers, or from your family, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, you should be very contented, and you should aim at becoming a good and great personality, isn't it? But the only thing you can become only when you acquire or imbibe all the necessary life skills, like just now I told you many life skills, isn't it? And the first and the foremost thing is attitude. If you are a person of good attitude, then you will be most welcome by many, and certainly, obviously, you can become adaptable to any situation, isn't it? So now I wish that you will become, or you will leave a legacy before you leave. Okay, leave a legacy. You have to leave a legacy. Okay. Now moving to our next slide. No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave. Okay, no person was ever honored for what he received, but it has been the reward for what he gave. That's a quote by Calvin. Okay, Coolidge. Now moving to our next slide. And choose your character. So how can you choose your character? If you are generous, if you are loyal, if you are loving, if you are kind, if you are caring, if you are sincere, if you have self-control, if you can manage your emotions. Okay, these all, they come under character. So these are all some good qualities which you are supposed to learn and acquire, so that you can choose your character, and that character is something good character. Okay, because strength of character is a foundation of all great achievements. Great personalities, if you look their character, it will be very good, and that character helped them to become or to achieve something great. So strength of a character is the foundation of all great achievements or accomplishments. And character is easier kept than regained. You have to keep your character. Okay. Once lost, you can't regain it. Okay. So character is easier kept than regained. Now moving to our next slide. Character comes from following our highest sense of right, from trusting ideals, by Richard Bach. Okay. Now next, moving to our next slide. Respect is earned, isn't it? It's something which can be earned. Honesty is appreciated, and love is gained, and loyalty is returned. Followed. Remember, the very depth in this particular quote. Respect is something earned, honesty is appreciated always, love is always gained, and loyalty is always returned. If you are loyal to others, the same you can expect, and they will reciprocate the same to you. Okay. Now moving to our next slide. That's a quote by Mother Teresa. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. Kind words always, they may be short, they may be very easy, but their echoes are truly endless. Now moving to our next slide. Control yourself or someone else will control you. If you don't control yourself, then somebody has to control you. Next. Success without integrity amounts to failure. If you are not a person with integrity, then you can never expect success, and certainly it will be a great failure. Okay. Now coming to accountability. I told you what's meant by accountability: being responsible. So responsibility, answerability, trustworthiness, liability, these all come under accountability only. You should be trustworthy, should be answerable, etc. And responsibility is accepting that you are the cause and the solution of the matter. Okay. You have to accept everything. Now every sunrise, moving to the next slide, every sunrise brings new opportunities, and every sunset demands results and accountability. You're supposed to be accountable, you're supposed to be responsible at the end of the day. Okay. Next, moving to our next slide. So the following are advantages of accountability. If you are accountable, then you can increase your level of performance, and it helps you avoid unpleasant surprises, and it gives you greater job satisfaction even, and also it leads to stronger relationships, and it leads to growth and profitability. So these are the advantages of being accountable. Followed. Okay. So be proactive and make it happen. Always you have to be proactive, and you have to make things happen. Okay. Instead of okay. Now, so learn to respond. Learn to respond. Don't react. So instead of reacting, you have to learn to respond, but you shouldn't react. So be proactive, not reactive. Okay. Now moving to our next slide. The greatest achievement of a person in his lifetime is not measured by what he got, but by what he became, isn't it? So your greatest achievement in your lifetime, it's measured by what you become. Okay, but not by what you got. Your material position is not your material position that decides your greatest achievement. That can be your greatest achievement, but what you become will help others know your greatest achievements. Okay. Now moving to our next slide. Be proactive and make the impossible happen. You have to make the impossible happen. Okay. Now, because you are the CEO of your life. You are the CEO of your life. You have to take decisions befitting your position. You have to think that you are the CEO of your own life. So finally, what I would like to say is that, what is it? You have to live your life by design and not by default. So if you imbibe all the necessary life skills, certainly you can live your life by design. You can design your life, but never by default. Okay. Hope you have learnt many life skills today, because I have consolidated all the life skills we have discussed in our 310P as part of our communication and life skills, and hope you enjoyed today's class, and all the best for your bright future. Hope you will live by design, not by default. Thank you. Thank you, students.